Today on Black Twitter Talk, we are talking Kendrick Lamar's new visuals for Humble, Black Women at Work, and Rikers Prison's closing. Stay tuned. Sit down. Thanks for tuning in to Black Twitter Talk. Sit down. I'm your host, Angie Skates. You could find me on Twitter at Angie_Skates, telling all the people that are against Kendrick's song to sit down.
What's up, you guys? I'm your girl, Kales. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TheUrbanGypsyLA. And I've also been in these Twitter threads saying, what are you guys talking about here?
Be humble.
Sit down.
Sit down. I don't know how you cannot like. We're just gonna get right into it.
Let's start with how do you feel about it?
How do I feel about Kendrick?
When you first
when
saw
I first felt it, I was refreshed. It made me feel good, like on so many levels. And the one scene that everybody's picked apart in this video, I felt so liberated. I felt so good to see a reflection of myself. I'm like, hey, I know that booty.
Right.
Like, I don't ever feel like that. It just be like fake booty over here, fake booty over there. I can't relate to that.
So if you guys have not been in the loop on this, Kendrick Lamar recently dropped a song and video, Humble.
Yes.
And it basically has gone viral on Black Twitter. I didn't watch the video right away. I just saw everybody's clips, and I'm like, oh, this look dope. You know, I'm a Kendrick fan, but I like to digest it on my terms. I hate when people, like, force feed me stuff. And so I listened to the song over and over. Then I watched the video. Then I got on Twitter. And I'm like, wait, did we watch and listen to the same thing?
I don't know. When I saw all the Kendrick slander, I didn't even see the video. I just asked the question, like, why do y'all hate Kendrick so much? He is hands down my favorite rapper alive, okay?
Right.
There's so many reasons why he is at the top of my list. And he is very well earned that slot.
Yes. Earned it.
And when I heard all of these women tearing him down, oh, he's a misogynist, this, that, and the other, and I'm like, he might be a little bit misogynistic when he talks about women on some songs, on some records, but overall, when I think of Kendrick, I don't think of, oh, he's a misogynist, he's a man, a woman-hating man.
No.
Like, I don't think of him like that at all.
I think the exact opposite of that. And one of the big tweet threads that I saw was from at L of Two Cities, and her initial tweet was at Kendrick Lamar and Humble. I'm tired of black women being attacked because we try to keep up with the impossible beauty standards set by men.
Okay, if you've been under a rock, Kendrick in this particular scene of this video, and I want to talk about the whole artistic piece in and of itself, but let's get right to what Twitter has a problem with. There is a brown-skinned woman that has loose wavy hair, and there's a line in the song where he's saying that he's tired of seeing women photoshopped. He would rather see them with their natural features and an ass with stretch marks on it.
Well, he doesn't say natural features. He said, I'd rather see you with froze like Richard Pryor.
Right.
And I'm tired of the
Photoshop. Or something
no,
like that.
you said it right the first time. I'm tired of the Photoshop. I'd rather see afros like Richard Pryor. Something. I want to feel the stretch marks.
He want to see the stretch marks.
Feel the stretch marks.
You want to feel the stretch marks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he shows a booty with stretch marks.
That was so not sexualized. I mean, she almost had on granny panties, and y'all just lost it.
And the woman walks from one screen where she's all made up, hair done, hair slicked, and then she goes into another screen where no makeup and her hair is loose and curly.
Right. And Black Twitter feminists went bananas.
Yeah, they felt that men were policing them. There was argument saying that he was saying that there's something wrong with black women wearing weaves and wigs, that they're tired of them telling us how we're supposed to look. And I'm like, he did not say that. Now, are there black men saying that?
Yes.
Of course. But in my opinion, he's actually talking to those black men who put these standards on us in the videos, in the rap songs, that we're supposed to have weaves, we're supposed to wear a face full of makeup, we're supposed to look perfect with fake titties and ass. And he's saying he's tired of that.
And I think it's interesting that you have this iconic black male artist who centers black men in his message, and everything that he's saying is relevant to black men. And here you have black women saying, well, we're not at the center of this narrative, and that's problematic.
How would you be at the center of a narrative that's being narrated by a black man? I don't understand that, because how could he ever narrate our stories for us?
Like, they're not calling for Beyonce to center black men in her message and her visuals and the things that she does. She centers black women because she is a black woman. So, I mean, I really honestly don't have a problem with anything that Kendrick said or did in this video. The only thing that I think that could have maybe went over just a little bit better is if he actually had a woman that did have a Richard Pryor afro, a dark-skinned woman.
Which I can understand that argument as well.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what the lyric says, and her fro was not Richard Pryor at all. So then the women are going in about that, but then some people were saying, well, if it is male centered because he is a black man, he should have just left that line out. But then my thought is, we're always glorifying the Kardashian archetype, let's call it that, and he is not doing that. And we always say black men don't speak up for us, they don't have our back, and this black man is having our back, saying be natural, whether you are light skin, chocolate, dark skin, brown skin, whatever it is, be who you are, love your natural self. And I don't see how that can ever be a problem for anybody, black, white, Indian, whatever, to say love your natural self.
Black women are saying that the love that black men are offering, the love that Kendrick is offering in this song, is not really love because it's conditional. It's conditional upon your appearance. And I think that anybody that equates the totality of our divinity as black women to our appearance are ignorant as. And I don't think Kendrick is that. I don't think he's saying that at all.
And if we look at his other videos, he always centers dark-skinned black women. He always references us and shows mad love to us, and he also shows mad love to light-skinned women. Like, he's not choosing one or the other. And then they started going in on his fiance, talking about, oh, she's white. No, she's not. She's black and she's light-skinned. And so the more I'm reading these threads, I'm starting to see, wow, there's this really huge division and line between dark-skinned black women and white, not white. They're calling light-skinned black women white.
Yeah, and I've said this before on air that I identify as a dark-skinned black woman because everything that I see in the media, I get it. It's all about ambiguous black women, their features and all that stuff. So when I do want to see more dark-skinned women featured, okay, but that doesn't mean that my points are valid. The things that I've experienced as a black woman are invalid because I'm not dark-skinned.
Exactly.
Like, screw you.
That doesn't mean that now you have to be erased because we need some more love. No,
there's room for all of us to coexist on this platform.
Hello.
And I think that it's possible for a black man to center himself in his narrative and to have an opinion about his own sexuality that talks about black women without objectifying us.
Right.
I certainly can have a conversation about my own sexuality involving black men without objectifying them.
Right.
And I just don't understand, like, where you can't please them all.
You can't, clearly. You can't. Like, it made me feel like, wow, you can do exactly what they ask of you to do, and you can be slaughtered. And so now we can also discuss the actual religious references in the video. And to me, we see he's referencing a lot of different religions, and he's placing himself as if he's Christ.
Yeah. So the first scene that we see when the video opens is him in like a church mausoleum kind of a space, and he has his back turned to this window that's shining the light on him, and his head is down as if he's praying or something.
It's like a pope in
that. But he's dressed as a pope, and then he's anointed, and then he starts flowing, and in every scene there's religious overtones like that. At the Last Supper, he's sitting at the table.
Last Supper, there's Jewish references.
Yes.
And like with the Last Supper, he's there with his disciples, low-key telling them to be humble, and he's placing himself in that position. And I feel like basically that is what's happening. He's being crucified for speaking up and being the prophet and saying things that other rappers refuse to say.
And then, I was appalled a lot by women attacking women for having a critique of Kendrick, and then the black men attacking the women for having a critique, and then it was just all these attacks, and I'm just like, and y'all,
what about all the good shit?
Yeah, like you guys still haven't said anything good about Kendrick's video or the content of the song, and it's just like 30 tweets later, 30 threads later, I did like the song. I actually am a fan of Kendrick. Like where are you a fan of Kendrick?
Right.
I don't see it. And everybody is saying, oh, either you're a stan for Kendrick and you think that he's above critique, or no, I critique him. Like, okay, at what point are you in your wokeness, so to speak, where there's no room for evolution, there's no room for learning, then you're probably not as woke as you think you are.
Hello.
So I feel like we're not giving Kendrick that space to evolve in his awareness. He never ever said, when did I see him say that he's a spokesperson for women's rights?
He's never
when
said
he's
that.
never said that. So why are black women
he
looking?
He even says in the song like he's speaking from his
soul. From his soul. Like he's allowed to do that and not center you at the center of his narrative. Okay, and you can have a problem with how he speaks on you. I don't have a problem with that. But you are looking to him to validate you. Like why?
No, because they're saying that we don't need you to validate. So, but
then you
are mad
critique.
because he's not validating you. So I'm confused. I'm really confused.
I don't know what to do. So let's talk about the video because y'all are giving me a headache on Twitter. I just can't keep up. So the video was directed by Dave Meyers, and he's someone that has worked with Missy Elliott. He's worked with so many other.
You can see that.
Yeah,
it's
like
creative as all hell.
Oh my God! Like the way that the visual effects, the camera movement at the supper, and then the scene where he's riding through the streets on the bicycle,
like rolling and magnified.
It's round. Yeah, it's
really
like it's magnified on him, and he is where he's always been in the hood because he's a real
Compton.
Yeah, man. I love that. And then the visual with the sea of him in the sea of black heads, and he's like. Oh, that's just so powerful to me. Like, there's so many different visuals.
And then they're all bald, and he's the only one with cornrows. And I guess I'm curious. Like, that's what I want to have more discussion about. What do these visuals mean? Not just that one part. Because I feel like that's what's good about art. There can be completely different interpretations. So I wanted to read more people's thoughts and insights on what these other visuals mean. Yeah.
And I didn't get any of that.
None of it.
And you have, the men where he's, like, on the wall and the flaming heads, right?
Right.
And they have nooses. Their heads are nooses, but they're on fire. And I'm like, okay, so are you saying that we're trapped in our mind? We're being hung by our own mind, and our minds are on fire? Like, what are you saying, Kendrick?
Maybe the fire will release it because he's on fire too, but he's not wrapped in the noose, but he does still have his cornrows. I don't know. There's so many ways you can look at it.
And the scene, like, okay, he's making all these references to God, but when you see him pictured with women, he's in a beauty shop. Okay, and then we see all these colors. They're indigo, they're purple, and these are colors of divination of crown chakra. And I feel like he's recognizing the divinity of black women's beauty in this, because this is where God is.
And I feel like it's also like saying that the beauty shop is low-key church for black women.
Hello. But we didn't get any of that on Twitter, though, because y'all so hung up on
that one. Yeah, man. He says so much stuff in this song. It's like, how did y'all get caught right there?
I don't know. And I don't know. What else could we say about it?
There's so much to say. Kendrick, you did it again.
You did it.
And that was my other thing. Like, everybody was so quick to attack. It's like, but he didn't even drop the album yet. Like, I have questions. I'm not trying to find the answers yet. I have more questions for Kendrick. I want you to break it down for me. And I want to see what else you have, because he's not the type of artist to just have a standalone song. Like, it's always a full movie, a film. His albums are like films.
I heard D'Angelo's featured on the album. I heard that Q-Tip is featured on the album. I heard Andre 3000 makes a feature on the album.
Wow.
I cannot wait to see what he has in store. He is literally calling out everybody in the rap game, and I'm excited because he is raising the bar. And people are saying, oh, we have to raise the bar off the floor about how he talks about women. Like, yeah, okay, fine.
When else does he even talk about us in a way that's disrespectful?
I mean, I feel like he uses a lot of metaphors, and he likens America to a gold digging women on For Free and To Pimp a Butterfly. Okay. And he uses a lot of metaphor where he personifies things that are maybe dark and, as women. And okay, fine, but this is art, like, and he is telling his story. These stories are unique to him. Who are you to tell him how to iterate them?
Tell him, yeah. Like, and he's the only artist that is telling these stories and talking about real things in real life, but in a way that we can literally drive on the 405 freeway or wherever you from and bump it and have a really good experience,
Can we talk about Mike Will Made It, though?
I didn't even know he produced it because I got caught up in the Twitter BS.
And a lot of people were talking mess about the simplicity of the track, and I'm like, you idiot. Look, oops, I didn't mean that. I take it all back. Y'all are very important to me. Your opinions matter, and we can have discourse about this intellectually without name calling, and contrary to what Twitter does. But anyway, I forget my point now. I don't even know what I was talking about.
About the beat being simple.
Oh yeah, the beat is simple, yes, but the contrast between him being humble and everything that he is depicting in the video, it's high contrast. Like, so it makes sense. But it's not even simple. I'm West Coast all the way, and that stanky ass staccato piano, it does it for me. It's so nasty. It gets. Like, it's a West Coast thing.
I love it. I be in the car jamming.
Like, feeling like the one.
Though, this song is a diss track, okay? We really listened to it. It's called Humble. At the last show we talked about, was he dissing Drake or Big Sean? In this song, he's definitely dissing Drake. He sang Be Humble. One of Drake's big famous lines was... being humble doesn't work as well as being aware. This whole song is saying be humble. Then it's the line when he talks about his level to this, you know this. That's another one of his major, like, he had a whole song talking about his levels to it. And if you listen to it, that first verse, he's referencing money and drugs and
even that
women and baby mamas. Yeah, he's referencing that
and he's mocking y'all.
He's mocking that rappers do that in that verse. And in the second verse, he's calling them out, like, why are y'all doing that? And if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna speak from the soul, not from meds, which he's calling people out about always referencing drugs and alcohol. And he's like, if I kill you, it won't be the alcohol.
Yeah, the scene where he has all the targets on him and he's in white, and it's just like, there's so much.
And in his last album, in Pimp a Butterfly, he prophesies that he's going to get crucified for telling the truth. And in Heart Part 4, he also says, again, like, he talks about his prophecy, and then he says, who's going to tell you the truth after I'm gone?
Like who? Big Sean? Drake? Migos? That y'all still be shaking your ass to, but don't bother to critique because they're not worthy? Kendrick is definitely worthy.
And you guys see, we are very much Kendrick fans, but we also love to critique art. So I'm curious what you guys think. What did you guys take away? Do you agree with us? Do you agree with the Twitter argument? How do you feel? Like, let us know. I want to know.
I felt more offended by the Twitter argument than the visual.
One woman literally said, I don't care about your light-skinned tears. That hurt my feelings. Like, I'm not light-skinned, but I have a light-skinned sister who doesn't think she's light. I have light-skinned homegirls who are lighter than her. But I'm just saying, like, that's rude. I care about your tears. Like, I care about your experience.
And I'm not mixed. Like, I'm black.
You're blackie.
I mean, we might. Shut up. Anyway, even if we are mixed, we're the blackity is black. Anyway, so I'm coming at it from an artist too, and I know how hard it is to incorporate, you know, the times, you know, so many different things into a Hot 16, and he does it so eloquently and so elegantly. And if you don't like it, you have a choice. Don't listen, don't watch. That's it.
But I mean, the fact that it did incite all this conversation,
it does its
that's
job.
how you know he is the greatest rapper alive.
Because ain't nobody else talking about anything else that anybody puts out like this. I've not seen anybody dissect anything.
There's nothing
that
to
Drake
dissect.
puts out, that Big Sean puts out, that and not even Jay-Z.
Percocet. What is there to dissect?
Who is that?
Future.
Designer.
Same thing, but Future. They sound alike.
I don't know. Anyway, it took like Jay-Z and Beyonce even years to come into this awareness that they are actually sharing this black.
And Jay-Z's doing it behind the scenes. He's not doing it as a rapper.
So to have this platform and to speak this much truth, it just shows that he's doing something right.
Yeah.
Kendrick. I love you, Kendrick. Anyway, so let's talk about the hashtag Black Women at Work. If y'all don't know, if you haven't heard, so there was a public attack. Okay, Maxine Waters, y'all. Auntie Maxine. Bill O'Reilly came for her.
Bill O'Reilly comes for everybody, unfortunately.
Bill O'Reilly is a joke. Bill O'Reilly just settled a $15 million lawsuit, and his network, Fox News, is still backing him up.
What was the lawsuit
for sexual harassment. Like, okay, he's done. A creep. You're done. Okay, we're done with Bill. Yeah. So Bill O'Reilly insults Maxine Waters' hair and says he refuses to talk to her because she has on a James Brown wig or something to the sorts of that nature. And then also, not to, like, I think it was the same day, a journalist, the White House journalist, April Ryan, was told by the White House correspondent, the newsman, what's his name, Sean Spicer, to stop shaking her head when she was asking a question and he was
because she was doing this because he was not answering her question.
We already know how Spicer gets down. He's a train wreck. Anyway, so she's shaking her head and he's like telling her grown self to stop shaking her head. And then Twitter was like, Brittany Packnett, is that her name?
Yes.
She's like one of the people that was at the forefront of the Black Lives Matter movement. Mm-hmm. She came up with this hashtag Black Women at Work to create stories. So Black women are sharing their stories on Twitter with that hashtag.
Because what happened too, like they had the CNN discussion and they're on there with other correspondents, Angela Rye and a couple of other correspondents, and they're saying, oh, you're making it about race and it's not about race with April Rye. And Angela Rye, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the other Black woman that was on that segment.
Joy?
I believe so.
Joy Ann Reid?
I believe so.
Yes.
And she's like saying, they're like trying to argue like, oh no, it's real to be at work as a Black woman. It's not like we're trying to pull a race card. Like, how could you say that?
Like, this shit happens. Oops.
Right. So then the hashtag Brittany came up with, it went viral.
It went viral because it's women from all walks of life, from all parts of the world, in all professions, sharing these same kind of stories that highlight microaggressions and racism and sexism in the workplace. And I've experienced it. I shared tweets that a lot of people liked and other people shared. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because you feel like when you're the only Black woman occupying this space that is dominated by white old men, in most professions, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And you have people that question why you're there all the time. Fix your face. Don't wear your hair like that. You can't do this. You can't do that. And if you do it, you're a bully. You're angry. You're so many things. Right. When you're interacting in a way that is not is not outside of the norms of other people in that office functioning in that same space.
Mara Brecka-Kill, who was the creator of Being Mary Jane, The Game, Soul Food, Girlfriends, like she's a part of all these amazing shows. She shares her story where she was pulling up to her parking spot for a show that she created or was show running for, and someone told her that the janitor cannot park there. Mind you, like, if you see Mara Brecka-Kill in person or whatever,
the other day,
like, why would you even think that she's a janitor? Like, she doesn't even, not that a janitor looks a certain type of way, but usually they do have uniforms. Let's just keep it real. And I'm pretty sure they showed up to work in what they're supposed to wear. So it's some of those things is like, are you trying me today? Do you want me to get angry at you and cuss you out? Like, why would you even come at me like that?
I remember I pulled up to a gas station. I wasn't at work, but I had on a denim. This is my favorite denim shirt. So if you see me wear it 7 times, you know it's my favorite. But anyway, I pull up and this man was like, after you're done over there, come help me over here. I must have flipped on him so much, like, I do not work here. And he's just like, oh, because he was about to get it. And it's just like, people assume so much of you just because of your skin color. Mm-hmm. There was another correspondent, I don't even remember where this guy came from, but he was telling Maxine Waters to take note from Whitney Houston and don't hit the crack pipe.
Like, how could you say that to somebody who's a respectable woman in politics?
She is a congresswoman, a respected congresswoman, has always been a pillar in the community for years and years and years. And you're coming at her with that kind of mess? That's exactly the kind of stuff that Black women go through in the workplace.
They're just mad that their work is being critiqued by a Black woman. They don't want us to have anything to say. And like with April, when they did the segment on CNN, the other correspondents were trying to say that she kept asking the same question. No, she wasn't asking the same question. She was trying to get the question answered. And they kept going around, and we can't deny that the White House is not transparent as it used to be. And she even says, I've been doing this for years. I've never had this issue when I'm going and talking at the White House. No one's ever questioned me as a journalist or anything like that. So, but at the same time, in her response, you can tell, but at the same time, I'm not new to being treated like this as a Black woman. Like, this is just part of the game, and I'm not gonna stop.
And a lot of people were surprised that they're being critiqued. These white men in these positions of power are being critiqued for the way that they were treating these women. It's like, because it's left unchecked. Nobody cares. And I think that goes back to the whole argument with Kendrick. Like, there's so many different aspects of Black womanhood that go left unchecked. When you have the platform at that level, why not say something if you care about us like you say you do?
Right.
I get that. But at the same time, I don't need Kendrick or J. Cole or anybody else narrating my story. I would much rather be like my Maxine Waters and get on the mic and say the next day, I'm a strong Black woman. I will not not be intimidated. Like, and I don't need nobody else to speak my piece for me, but I get where they're coming from.
Exactly. And then speaking of, we talked about you know, that scene in Kendrick's video where the hair shop is like church for us, and like hair is such a huge thing in the black community. So for you to critique a black woman, a professional black woman's hair, to critique a woman's hair, period, but to critique her while she's doing her job when we literally cannot get jobs because of our hair is a certain way and things like that, it's like, black hair, like we've talked about on plenty of shows, it is a political statement. It is politics. It is our culture. It is our religion to an extent. It means a lot, and it's absolutely unacceptable for that to happen.
And I'm glad that the hashtag was created and shared and went viral on Twitter. Again, Twitter is annoying sometimes.
Ooh, yes.
Y'all got on my damn nerves. But then again, Twitter is a place where we can come and we do have each other's backs. Even I saw people defending women who were being attacked, even though they didn't share the same point of view on Twitter. And that's the kind of...
that happened with me.
Yeah, that's the kind of interaction that I'm looking for.
Yeah, I was having discourse with this woman back and forth for like the past 2 days because people continue to interject on the topic. And then today, some guy interjects and calls the girl an effing idiot and a dumb bee and all this stuff. Mind you, the girl didn't fully agree on the topic, but I had to jump
she's
in
not an
and
idiot or effing bee. Like, slow your roll, bro.
Like, who are you? You don't know her. Don't be disrespectful and hop in this argument because we're not even having an argument. We're just having a discussion. Like, I'm learning why she feels the way she feels, and I'm enjoying the fact that this can happen because a lot of times on Twitter, people be in their egos, and if you say something, they're offended, even if you're agreeing with them. So I was excited that I'm like, because I was like, dang, should I respond to this? I don't want her to get mad and it turns into an argument. I want to have a legit discussion. So, yeah, these men just come in and want to attack.
Yeah. I don't know. It's black sexual politics. I'm interested in all sides. I don't just want to hear our side all the time. So hearing men speak up and say their piece wherever they are in the evolution of their wokeness, I'm interested.
As long as they're willing to listen too.
Yeah, like the willingness to want to understand means a lot as opposed to them actually understand. You know what I mean? Like if they express a desire to want to know, to say, okay, I admit that they don't know everything. And I don't think, anyway.
And I think that in that, women need to be humble and sit down and realize that we don't know everything either. In order for us to grow, we have to, like, continue to be open to hearing their side. Even though we are well-versed in their side, that's how we feel a lot. But that doesn't mean that we get to dominate the conversation all the time.
No, they have a voice. Their voices matter, too.
Because when we dominate, then they're not going to say nothing. It becomes an attack.
Yeah, I felt attacked. But anyway, let's talk about something else a little bit. Maybe we might get back to that. I don't know.
Because we just love you, Kendrick.
So much. So, New York City, have you guys heard? Rikers Island prison is what it's called. It's closing. So, Mayor Bill de Blasio just announced a 10-year plan to get rid of the prison. And this news comes on the heels of Jay-Z releasing the Khalif Browder documentary, and it's about his 3-year stint in Rikers prison for allegedly stealing a backpack, and he sat there in solitary confinement for 2 of those 3 years, right, without ever having an arraignment. So that's illegal, and a lot of this activity happens at this prison. So they are rolling out a 10-year plan to close it. My question is, what is going to spring up in its place? Like, I think that, theoretically this is a right step in the right direction, but like if you don't have any legislation to change the way that these laws are sentenced, the way that they're prosecuted to target certain ethnic groups, I think that it could fail miserably. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the prison is one thing, and then the judicial system and how the laws are being enforced is another thing. Like, they kept with Khalif Browder, they tried to get him to take a plea deal, but he knew he didn't do it, so he refused to take a plea deal, which is why he got sentenced. Or he didn't even get sentenced. He didn't even get arraigned. He didn't get a court date. He was just sitting in court that whole time.
In prison.
Yeah, right. In prison the whole time. And then once he got released, not too long after that, he committed suicide. And they have video of him getting his ass whooped and everything. Like, it was... I haven't watched the documentary. I've only watched stories. I've heard about this story a while ago. I think Mark Lamont Hill did an interview with him and everything. But it's I know that I can't watch it yet. It's too triggering for me.
Not today, maybe another day. But
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, or if you don't know the story, you should definitely watch the documentary.
Watch it. And if you have watched it or haven't seen it, it's like, comment, let us know how it is, what you learning from it, like, because I'm not ready, but I can read some comments about it.
I heard that Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z are going to be working on a Trayvon Martin documentary now. And this is what I'm talking about. Jay-Z is in his 40s. He's been in the rap game for over 20 years, and he's just now getting into his truth as a black man, sharing and doing things that are working for the community. And y'all coming at Kendrick's neck and he ain't even talking to you. But okay.
He's in his 20s.
Yeah. But anyway, I understand the sentiment on all sides, and that's part of the beauty of loving myself, having that instilled in me from a young age, having abundance of that as a black woman. I love myself. I'm not looking to anything external to validate that for me. I am enough, and I know that. And Kendrick, you're enough too, boo.
Right, because you have to do that, like, to where it doesn't bother you. Like, we were talking about earlier, like, I so enjoyed the stretch marks part 2. Because I've had stretch marks since I was, like, 10.
Me too.
So had I not learned to love these, do you know where my self-worth would be? Like, self-worth would be by now, because some women don't get them till they're older. Like, I've had them since I was a kid.
And another thing I understand too, they was like, oh, so y'all like Sisters Natural now? Mind you, they are equating Kendrick to all men.
Right, I don't understand.
Which is crazy.
That happened.
But anyway, they're like, so you like our body hair too? Y'all still not with that? And I'm just like, I'm still struggling with that.
But
like,
my whole thing is, I don't get how Kendrick pushing that forward is a bad thing, because, like, even being from LA and the Hollywood scene, like, I've been discriminated against, like, getting into a club because my hair is natural.
But when we press it out and, you know, do the whole straight hair thing, it gives men totally different.
Exactly, and that's
us.
not whether you're light skin or dark skin. Like, that's just across the board. Like, your hair and whether or not you're natural will determine how people treat you out here. So the fact that he is saying that, it's not saying that there's something wrong with the girls with the straight hair. They already getting access. He's just saying, let the curly hair girls in too.
Get
okay,
some play. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
And I think we done.
Yeah, because we'll talk all day about Kendrick.
We gonna continue this conversation.
Yes,
off
because
screen.
he is dropping his album
April 7th.
So you guys know, when we come back, we will be discussing that again.
Of course. Drake been real quiet though. Crickets.
I think he took a seat.
I think
because his album, like, you guys,
I know we said we're done. We tricked
but
you.
Drake's album, like, can we compare the two? No, we can't even compare the two.
You know, I really wanted to, and this ain't even the whole album, but I'm ready to compare Kendrick's album to Beyonce's Lemonade, or even that of Solange's A Seat at the Table.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how much of an important black work I think it's going to be.
Right. I agree with that.
All right, y'all. So digest all of that, and then tweet us, add us, comment on our video. Check us out next week. You can find me on Twitter at Angie_Skates and on Instagram at Big_Ange.
And you can find me at The Urban Gypsy LA, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
We'll see y'all later.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.